Hi everyone, today's tip is going to be on linting. What is a linter? It's something that will quality check your code so you can be sure it follows the standards and any safety issues before you deploy it or commit it. So the SAS linter will work in both the SASjs VS Code Extension and in the SASjs CLI. It uses this library at the back end. And these are the rules that you can apply. So you can scan for SAS encoded passwords, whether the programs have the correct header, does the macro name appear in the %mend statement, does the macro have parentheses or brackets, indentation, tabs or spaces. If it's spaces, it could be say 2, 3, or 4. Are the file names in lowercase? What's the max line length of a line in terms of number of characters? So usually having shorter length lines makes them easier to compare on a screen. Nested macros are generally bad, so you can check for those. No spaces in file names, and then no tab indentation. I know it's a holy war, and no trailing spaces. Trailing spaces don't really do anything except take up space. So these are the rules. These go in a file called .sasjs lint in the root of your project. Yeah, you can run it in the command line, and here's the documentation for that, or use it in a VS Code instance. So here's an online example of VS Code, and if I head over to a SAS job, and I do something terrible like a SAS encoded password. So this is looks very much like a SAS encoded password. I hit save. We've got a red squiggly line, and you can see there's a problem right there in the terminal, or in the terminal window. So that's how it can work in a VS Code environment. What about on the command line? So if I head over to the terminal and then run SASjs Lint command. So I just removed that issue, but there are several more. So you can see here this macro is missing the macro end statement. So I'll head over there and fix that. Another thing that the linter does is auto correction. So I just hit save. Here you can see that there's nothing in the mend. I hit save and the macro name appears. So I'll hit SASjs Lint again. Just one more issue left. Now another thing you can do with the SASjs Lint is stick it in a pre-commit hook. So a pre-commit hook runs before you make a commit. So say you'd like to prevent issues from ever hitting your Git repository, then you stick the linter in the commit hook, and say if I wanted to add the changes and then commit them, fix lint issues, like so, I get a warning that there are still lint warnings that need to be fixed before I can commit that message. So I'll just delete that and save. And then run SASjs Lint. Everything is now synced, so I just add that change, do the commit, and now the commit will. Oh, this actually doesn't go through because I've got another pre-commit hook that prevents pushing to the master branch. But actually, if you use when you do a commit, if you use the -n parameter, you can force a commit through even if there's a pre-commit hook. So it's really just a check to stop you pushing bad stuff to your Git repository. So that's it. It's free to use. If you'd like to know more, you'd like some more lint rules, we'd be happy to be engaged. We're 4GL apps, and we focus on apps on the SaaS platforms.